Hello, and welcome back to Coin Lady channel. And today, as was the case with the vast majority of the cryptocurrency and financial communities, we shall discuss Ripple and XRP. And now, without further ado, let us rewind to March 3rd of this year, and dig right in. I mean, what do you see? Based on a recent survey conducted by Ripple, nearly all financial institutions are confident in crypto's potential. The lack of clarity in regulations regarding the use of crypto-enabled payments is their largest challenge. We look down, and we see it. Now, we have the Faster Payments Council and Ripple's report, Transforming the Way Money Moves. I have it open right now, over here. Here and now. Altering the circulation of funds. In this exclusive research, the U.S. Faster Payments Council and Ripple share their insights into the future of the payments industry and the revolutionary potential of crypto-enabled transactions. The survey sent to over 950 subscribers, including analysts and CEOs from 45 countries, provides insights on global crypto payment patterns. There were 281 participants who filled out the survey and answered 25 questions about blockchain payment use cases, benefits, digital asset ownership, and impediments to adoption. The survey's fieldwork was carried out in the first half of 2022. According to the data, we do interact with the vast majority of FPC subscribers. In other words, nearly all respondents, 97%, think that Bitcoin and blockchain technology will play a major role in facilitating speedier payments within the next 3 years. More than half of the payment executives polled anticipate that within the next couple of years, the vast majority of retailers would accept cryptocurrency payments. According to Ripple and the FPC, 27% of CEOs in the Middle East and Africa anticipate that most retailers would accept cryptocurrencies by 2024. Solutions enabled by cryptocurrencies, like as mobile payments and CBDCs, may contribute to the upbeat outlook on these areas. Only 17% of respondents at the time of the poll supported a crypto-enabled payment system, despite the fact that 52% of respondents were at least contemplating using crypto for payments. The paper cites lack of legislative clarity and low adoption as the primary reasons for the lack of widespread use of crypto technology for monetary transactions. When asked about the biggest challenge facing the widespread adoption of cryptocurrency payments, nearly 90% of respondents cited regulatory uncertainty, while 45% cited low industry support. We are, after all, working against the clock, and that is why I have been secretly accumulating as much XRP as I can. I'm aware that this case has been going on for at least 2.5 years, whether or not the public is aware of that fact, but time is of the essence. When we finally get some rules in place for this area, that will be that. Cryptocurrency and cryptocurrency payments will become widely used. 90% of respondents see a lack of regulatory clarity as a significant barrier, but that's not the case here. So keep that in mind. All the other concerns associated with this are resolved as time goes on. There is a time limit on this. With that in mind, let me also direct your attention to this. This, then, comes courtesy of the Federal Reserve's new payments website. This is the Faster Payments Council in the United States. To clarify, we are the FTC. The primary impetus for establishing the Faster Payments Council is now at hand. It's not hard to understand. Americans today expect a world-class payment system that allows them to pay anyone, anywhere, anytime, and with nearly instantaneous cash availability in today's increasingly mobile digital economy. The FPC's goal is to promote a high-quality, secure user experience for all users, encourage widespread adoption of faster payments, and drive the development of a ubiquitous faster payments infrastructure in accordance with the effective criteria PDF established by the Faster Payments Task Force. Now, if you scroll down, you'll discover that these are actually the important points. Therefore, in the first 2 years, we will encourage the adoption of practices that improve safety and security for service providers and users of faster payments by identifying, developing, and supporting guidelines and market practices that will openly and collaboratively address opportunities and emerging issues. creating a public awareness campaign to explain the benefits of speedier payments. I recently referenced one of their postings on Twitter. The Faster Payments Council, FPC, discusses the Cross-Border Payments (CBP) scheme. The third Cross-Border Payments Bulletin, authored by Workgroup, is now available in the Faster Payments Knowledge Center. Almost blindness is required to not see that, I said. I didn't mean to imply that you should ignore the state of the economy, rather, I was referring specifically to the stock market. Ripple and XRP are integral parts of the international monetary system. The stars are aligned, and success is imminent. Once again, this is essential since our time is limited. If we have another year or two to amass XRP, we should do so as efficiently and sensibly as possible. Those that have participated in the XRP community, doing their homework and putting in the time, are the ones who understand the big picture. There will soon be a brand new monetary order. There's no hiding it. Get ready for this eventuality. And yes, I did share Transforming the Way Money Moves, which is accessible over here. It explains in detail what cryptocurrencies are and how they are rapidly replacing traditional assets. And we do view things like blockchain and crypto as ways to speed up payments and increase value for our customers. Almost all of them see cryptocurrency as the wave of the future. With a CAGR of 5%, international money transfers are predicted to balloon to $156 trillion this year. I agree with you that their value will only rise, and I think international transactions are ripe for disruption by cryptocurrencies. The market for international payments is primed for innovation, according to Ernst & Young. On the second page of this document, however, I also include the statement issued by the FTC. Therefore, the U.S. Faster Payments Council publishes. Third, a notice from the international money transfer sector. The U.S. Faster Payments Council, a trade group that promotes rapid, simple payments in the U.S., falls under this category. The Faster Payments Knowledge Center has released the latest issue of the Cross-Border Payment Bulletin. The newest industry advisory was crafted by the Cross-Border Payments Workgroup to delve deeper into how central bank digital currencies affect cross-border payments and cross-border faster payments. Sorry. In this article, we will examine the current state of the CBDC market, the differences between wholesale and retail CBDC distribution, and the mechanisms through which the CBDC industry manages its liquidity. The bulletin also takes a look at some current CBDC pilots and offers insights gained from these and other research initiatives. Current international efforts, for instance, seek to learn how CBDCs may influence things like international finance and monetary policy. The many stages and motives of and for CBDC adoption, as well as some of the implementation approaches being taken, the design frameworks being investigated, and so on, are examined in this bulletin. We at the Cross-Border Payments Group hope that the information presented in this bulletin will provide you a more complete picture of this novel kind of currency and its potential applications. In addition to keeping an eye on the ongoing cross-border CBDC projects and initiatives themselves, we expect future editions of these bulletins to concentrate on industry initiatives that affect and impact cross-border payments, such as ISO 2002 to immediate cross-border payments, ICP, and open banking. Hold on a bit, please. Here is notice number 3, which I have in my possession. Furthermore, we have the International Finance Working Group. The third issue of the Cross-Border Payments Workgroup's bulletin focuses on central bank digital currencies and their impact on cross-border faster payments, and the Faster Payments Council, Cross-Border Payments Workgroup is pleased to make it available to the public. The Federal Reserve describes central bank digital currency as such on its website. Most dictionaries agree that digital currency refers to the public's widespread access to the central bank's digital liability. Federal Reserve notes, or physical cash, are the only form of central bank money available to the public at this time in the United States. In the same vein as the monetary systems already in place. As a Federal Reserve liability, a CBDC would make it possible for people to make digital payments. There is no credit or liquidity risk connected with a CBDC, making it the most secure digital asset available to the public. Such an expansive description of a CBDC is accurate. A CBDC may only be used for transactions between central banks, commercial banks, or both, according to other definitions. There are now at least 3 different implementations of CBDCs, all of which are limited to dealings between central banks. In order to conduct business involving the Federal Reserve Bank of New York and the Bank of England or the Bank of Canada. This could be one approach to expedite international financial transactions involving commercial banks and central banks like the Federal Reserve. The technique of creating CBDCs described in this and the preceding item would prevent retail or consumer accounts from using the CBDC for transactions involving retail or consumer accounts. The CBDC might then be used for any kind of transaction that normally accepts digital currencies. Therefore, no decision has been taken in the United States about whether or not to adopt a digital currency, or when or how this would occur. There is also a lack of successful pilots or demonstration projects providing or proving the viability of using CBDCs for transactions between commercial banks and for using CBDCs for digital transactions in the general economy, despite the fact that such projects have shown the viability of using a CBDC for transactions between central banks. It makes sense to go ahead of the curve today, especially when we know that 90% of the world's nations are shifting towards a CBDC scenario. There has been a rapid increase in research into digital assets and, in particular, digital currencies issued by national central banks. To understand the differences between Bitcoin and Ethereum, for example, it's helpful to learn about their respective distribution mechanisms and public-private key management systems. Another major barrier to adoption is the lack of compatibility between different CBDC implementations and older clearing and settlement systems. The Fedwire and the FELIS. SWIFT has recently made an effort to close the gap in compatibility. SWIFT announced in March 2023 that they had successfully tested their solution to allow CBDCs to switch between DLT-based and fiat-based systems while making use of current financial infrastructure. The reasons behind researching and subsequently implementing a CBDC into the market are intriguing. It's crucial to bear in mind how geographical variations and developments in technology influence the design decisions that cater to those variations. Also, in my view, when we consider this, I agree that DLT will play a significant role in this. Some aspects are explained in detail here. Even liquidity management is discussed. Automated market makers are also discussed. AMMs are arriving to the XRP ledger, and they aren't all headed in the same route as my prediction that the XRP ledger will be put to use in this case. What I'm trying to convey is that it's possible that's the missing ingredient. David Schwartz has told us that this is the magic ingredient. Most of these CBDC experiments, however, do make use of DLT stablecoins and related technologies. We even saw something akin to an Embridge ledger, a platform for implementing multi-currency cross-border payments that is specialized and adaptable and was designed by central banks for central banks. You already know how much work goes into using CBDCs effectively. There is also a great deal about which we are completely in the dark. We have no idea what many of these are being used for. From what I can see, a private ledger system like the one we know Ripple is trying to test out is the most promising option. We've been working on this one for some time now, and it's primarily due of the central banks and the theory behind it. Traditional payment processing methods, clearing and settlement contingency exclusions, interoperability, liquidity, and local norms and regulations have all been strengthened as a result of these CBDC experiments and research activities. These, it seems, are the primary concerns. However, we do believe that these and other pilots and projects will eventually lead to further research and, perhaps, widespread industry use of CBDCs. The use of CBDCs has the potential to revolutionize the efficiency of international payments and the status quo of correspondent banking. These bulletins will continue to track existing cross-border CBDC projects and activities, but in future issues the focus will shift to industry initiatives that affect cross-border payments, such as ISO 2002 to instantaneous cross-border payments and open banking. It's all about international transactions, you see, with a primary emphasis on cross-border payments. Quicker payments themselves, such as Ripple, play an important role in nearly all of these agreements, and this is reflected in the abundance of articles and other materials centered on the Quicker Payments Council. That's what I've been working to incorporate into my life generally. When I discuss several of these papers, it is the fact that Ripple is included in virtually all of it that stands out to listeners. The United States has accelerated payments for itself. I think by now it's safe to say that most people are aware that Pat Thelen and James Selleck are the two most influential people in the organization. Both of these people have extensive experience prior to joining even Ripple. Pat Thelen, for instance, worked at UMB Bank. It took him 5 years and 7 months to complete his stay. At JP Morgan, he also held the position of managing director. He worked as a principal at Fiserv, the financial services company. Additionally, he worked as a manager with EY. James Selleck, too, has a solid family history and education background. If you keep reading this, 3 years and 7 months with Ernst & Young, followed by 4 years and 10 months at Banco Santander, Santander Bank. The members of the Faster Payments Council all have extensive experience in the banking and financial industries. Obviously, they were employed by Ripple. Actually, James Selleck is still employed by Ripple, in the capacity of account manager. Also, Pat Thelen has been presenting for 5 years in a month since his arrival in May of this year. And then there's Craig DeWitt, who, by the way, works for Supermojo, and as far as we know, Ripple has actually invested in Supermojo. After 7 years with Ripple, he has decided to leave. But in July of 2022, he abruptly left. Despite his lack of experience in the payments or financial technology industries, he was nominated to a leadership post on the Faster Payments Council by Ripple in 2021. Who is presently a senior product director at Ripple, has announced his intention to join the Faster Payments Council, a membership organization driven by the payments sector. DeWitt expressed his delight at joining the OR and assisting with the group's investigation of digital currency issued by central banks. Glad to disseminate. I was recently promoted to the position of Vice Chair of the Faster Payments Council for International Transactions. Here then is the estimate from June 16, 2021. We look further down. To begin, absolutely, this is about making speedier payments across international borders for businesses. Customers still anticipate digital products and instantaneous payment methods. In order to keep up with tomorrow's expectations, businesses need to take steps today to remove the hurdles and complexity associated with international money transfers. It was Kelvin Leung, MasterCard's Vice President of Product Management for Innovative Payment Flows and International Transactions. Group leader, our team is proud to give this informative industry guide in an effort to hasten the introduction of more efficient, secure, and flexible cross-border payment options. Furthermore, here's what Craig DeWitt has to offer as well. Since there is no universally applicable answer, our research also discusses 3 distinct interoperability models and 3 distinct settlement models. Transferring funds across borders necessitates the coordination of a wide web of financial institutions and intermediaries. However, as more nations implement faster payments and work toward interoperability among systems, faster cross-border payments will become a reality. And yeah, I think the $156 trillion market is where attention should be focused right now. But, I think the real key here is the next move made by the Federal Reserve. We are aware that in the United States, the road to instantaneous payments was paved as far back as 2017. This occurred within the Faster Payments Task Force. And if we scroll down, we can see the members of the Speedier Payments Task Force, including many household names. And Ripple's Ryan Zagoni was among them. We also noted the mention of Ripple below. Providers can make instantaneous international payments using Ripple. It currently takes 2 to 4 days to settle a cross-border payment, and there is often little transparency regarding the status or associated fees. Ripple allows for instantaneous fee certainty, fee transparency, and settlement at any moment. And yeah, I think that Ripple has been affiliated with a lot of these major groups that have been doing these studies, these solutions, and, trying to create, something that changes the world around these payments and payment technology because it is crucial for a long time. This is a serious topic of concern. Over the past few years, we've naturally been concentrating on international money transfers and all the associated problems. The World Bank Group has been discussing the need for speedier payment systems as early as September of 2021. When you look closely, you'll see that the word Ripple appears 3 times inside the same context. Here, let me enlarge the view. Ripple has built a system for international money transfers using distributed ledger technology. Financial institutions can use a single pre-funded account on the RippleNet network to make and receive international payments. RippleNet facilitates XRP cryptocurrency transfers in addition to fiat currency exchanges. To facilitate transactions between countries, the World Bank created this digital currency. And you can tell when we take a step back and look at where we are right now. Things seem to be coming together. All the news in the last few weeks, months, and years has been about international money transfers. Even CBDCs are working on a streamlined standard for international money transfers. There is a lot going on, and that is why I have been paying attention to the background action. Now, more than ever, solutions present themselves naturally. For this reason, I maintain that it takes a certain level of blindness to ignore the current state of the global economy. If you've been keeping up with the latest news regarding digital assets, cryptocurrency, and related topics over the past few years, then you know exactly what's going on. In other words, the United Kingdom, the United Arab Emirates, and Hong Kong are all interested in developing into crypto centers. The Chinese government has only lately begun exploring cryptocurrencies and allowing its citizens to do so. Russia is looking into using cryptocurrency as a form of payment. The major trend is plain to see, and it will only speed up from here on out because, once again, these payment companies believe in the power of crypto. And once we pass that, if we pass that regulatory clarity threshold, we'll have won the game. Finally, I wish you all a good time watching this video. Leave a like and turn on notifications if you enjoyed it. See you later, bye.